Victor Gruen was an architect with a grand vision for America. He was born in Vienna, Austria, a city he loved deeply. Vienna was famous for its beautiful public spaces. People could walk, talk, and gather in its lively squares and cafes. Gruen grew up surrounded by this vibrant city life. He believed that cities should be for people, not just for cars. This idea stayed with him his entire life. It became the foundation for everything he would later design. His early experiences in Vienna shaped his dream of creating better communities for everyone. His life changed dramatically in 1938. The Nazis annexed Austria, and as a Jewish socialist, Gruen was in grave danger. He had to escape. With only $8 in his pocket and his architectural degree, he fled to the United States. He arrived in a new country, a land of wide-open spaces and a growing obsession with the automobile. He saw the American suburbs spreading out, creating isolated lives. People drove everywhere. There were no central places to meet, no community hubs like the ones he remembered from Vienna. He saw this as a problem he needed to solve. Gruen looked at the sprawling American landscape and felt a sense of loss. He saw endless roads and parking lots. He saw houses cut off from each other. He missed the social heart of his old city. He wanted to bring that feeling of community to his new home. He imagined a place that could offer a solution. This place would be a new kind of town center. It would be protected from the weather and safe from traffic. It would be a space where people could come together, not just to shop, but to live and connect. This idea was radical for its time. America was falling in love with the car and the freedom it seemed to offer. Suburbs were designed around driving from home to store and back again. Gruen wanted to challenge this. He dreamed of creating pedestrian-friendly islands in a sea of cars. His goal was not just to build a building, but to build a better way of life. He wanted to fix what he saw as the social emptiness of the suburbs. His solution was a concept that would soon become famous, the shopping mall. Victor Gruen's vision was much more than just a place to buy things. He imagined a complete community hub. His ideal mall would be the center of a new kind of town. It would include apartments, offices, parks, and medical centers. There would be schools and libraries too. The mall itself would be an indoor, climate-controlled public square. It would be a place where people could stroll, meet friends, and enjoy art and events. He saw it as a modern version of the old European town square, but adapted for the American suburban lifestyle. It was a bold attempt to create a sense of place. He got his chance to build this dream in Edina, Minnesota. This project became the Southdale Center, which opened in 1956. It is often called the first modern, fully enclosed shopping mall. Gruen designed it to be the heart of a larger community. The mall was inward-facing, shutting out the noise and chaos of the surrounding roads and parking lots. Inside, it was a different world. There were 2 levels of shops, a central garden court with a fish pond, and plenty of natural light from skylights. It was designed to feel welcoming and social. Southdale was a huge success from the moment it opened. People loved it. They came from all over to experience this new kind of public space. It offered a comfortable and safe environment, protected from Minnesota's harsh weather. Families could spend a whole day there. Gruen had included a post office, a bank, and even a chapel. He hoped that the other parts of his plan, like the apartments and offices, would be built around the mall. He believed Southdale was just the first step toward creating a fully integrated, walkable community. The design of Southdale was revolutionary. Gruen used art, fountains, and comfortable seating to encourage people to linger. He called the central area the Garden Court of Perpetual Spring. He wanted to create an atmosphere that was relaxing and enjoyable. His goal was to make people forget they were in a commercial building. He wanted them to feel like they were in a public park or a town square. For a brief moment, it seemed like his vision for a better American city was coming to life. Southdale was more than a mall, it was a social experiment. Victor Gruen's idea was popular, but not in the way he had hoped. Developers and city planners loved the concept of the shopping mall. However, they were mostly interested in the profits from retail. They saw the mall as a powerful machine for making money. They took Gruen's core idea, an enclosed, climate-controlled shopping center, and stripped away the rest of his vision. They ignored his plans for apartments, offices, schools, and parks. They were not interested in building integrated communities. They just wanted to build giant, isolated boxes for shopping. The result was a wave of new malls that looked very different from Gruen's Southdale. These new malls were not town centers. They were giant structures surrounded by even larger seas of asphalt parking lots. They were completely dependent on cars. Instead of reducing urban sprawl, they encouraged it. Developers built them on cheap land far from existing city centers. This pulled life and business away from traditional downtowns, leaving many of them empty and struggling. The mall became a symbol of the very car-centric culture Gruen had tried to fight. Gruen watched this happen with growing horror. His dream of creating walkable mixed-use communities was being twisted into something he despised. The mall, his invention, was becoming a major cause of the suburban sprawl he had set out to cure. He saw his beautiful idea being copied poorly all across the country. These copycat malls had no art, no public services, and no connection to the community. They were just endless corridors of stores designed to maximize spending. The social heart of his original concept was gone. The irony was painful. The man who fled the destruction of European cities had accidentally created a tool that was now hollowing out American ones. He wanted to bring people together, but the malls that bore his influence were often accused of creating sterile, artificial environments. They were private spaces masquerading as public ones. Gruen's dream of a new urbanism had been co-opted and commercialized. The shopping mall became the opposite of what he intended. It was a monument to consumerism, not community. As the years went by, Victor Gruen became increasingly disillusioned. He saw his name attached to an architectural form he no longer recognized. He had intended to create a cure for the problems of the American city, but he had ended up creating a new problem. He felt that his creation had been corrupted by commercial interests. He began to speak out publicly against the very thing he was famous for inventing. He wanted everyone to know that the thousands of sprawling, soulless malls across America were not what he had in mind. His dream had turned into a nightmare. In a famous speech late in his life, Gruen powerfully disowned his creation. He declared, "I would like to take this opportunity to disclaim paternity once and for all. I refuse to pay alimony for those bastard developments." This strong statement revealed the depth of his frustration and disappointment. He felt like a father whose child had grown up to be a monster. He had tried to give America a new kind of city heart, a place for connection and community. Instead, the country had taken his blueprint and used it to build more isolation and more sprawl. The personal tragedy of Victor Gruen is a powerful lesson. It shows how an inventor's original intention can be lost or twisted. Gruen was a visionary, a utopian thinker who truly believed architecture could make people's lives better. He wanted to solve social problems through design, but once his idea was out in the world, he lost control of it. The forces of commerce and development were more powerful than his original vision. His story is a classic example of an invention having unintended and unwelcome consequences for its creator. Ultimately, Gruen returned to Europe, disheartened by what America had done with his idea. He had come to the United States with a dream of building better cities, inspired by his beloved Vienna. He left feeling that he had failed. The irony of his life is profound. A man who hated cars and sprawl became known as the father of the car-centric shopping mall, a major engine of that very sprawl. His legacy is a complicated one, a reminder that even the best intentions can lead to outcomes we never wanted.